Welcome, everybody, to the Secrets About Men Summit. What men wish you knew, but will never tell you. I'm Suzanne Oshima, and I'm a matchmaker and dating coach at Dream Bachelor and Bachelorette, and I'm also the founder of Single and Stilettos. Today, we have as our special guest, Dr. Alduan Tartt, and he's going to talk to us about how to handle a man who won't commit. And I know, ladies, every lady out there has either dated or been in a long-term relationship with a man that won't commit. So I know you're all dying to know how to handle this type of man. But before we jump into this, I would love to tell you about Dr. Tartt. So Dr. Alduan Tartt is a licensed clinical psychologist, minister, author, and media personality. He is a graduate of Morehouse College and the youngest African-American to receive his PhD in clinical psychology from the University of Michigan. Dr. Tartt is also the recipient of the NAACP Award for his lifetime of work in psychology. Dr. Tartt has numerous media appearances, including CNN, HLN, ABC Nightline, MTV's Made, VH1's Fantasia for Real, and co-hosted his own show, Love Addiction, on TV One. He is a frequent contributor for Essence, Black Enterprise Magazine, and serves as a psychology consultant for the NBA. Dr. Tartt is married with two beautiful daughters, is the author of The Ring Formula, and speaks across the country on improving relationships, marriages, parenting, and faith. So welcome, Dr. Tartt. I'm so excited to have you here.
Hey, I'm excited to do this. I'm excited. Thank you for having me.
I know, because we need to help these ladies out when they get these men that won't commit either in a relationship or in marriage, right?
Yes, because, part of my vision in ministry is to get more people married.
Yes.
It's no point in having all this information and not sharing it so that more people can get married. And what people will be surprised is that the research shows that married men benefit from marriage more than women. Married men are happier, healthier, and wealthier. So Suzanne, in a selfish way, I'm trying to help my brothers out. I'm trying to help them to be happier, healthier, and wealthier so we can have more marriages and families.
Is that really true?
So you want me to break it down? So married men are happier because they have a best friend to talk to on a regular basis. Unlike women, men don't go out and play with a lot of guys. They kind of just do what they do. There are some guys that are social, but your average guy is not going out to have dinner with 5 of his friends, all right? We are wealthier, obviously, because there's 2 incomes and half of the expenses most of the time. And also our wives help us not to be so risky when it comes to decision making. We have to think about what's good for her and the kids. And then 3, we're healthier because y'all nag us to go to the doctor and follow-up appointments. This is true research. So a single man, he doesn't have anyone telling him to go check on his cough. But a wife is like, baby, you're going to the doctor. You're going to go. So we're happier, healthier, and wealthier.
And I'm laughing so hard because I'm not even married yet. I'm engaged, but I do.
Congratulations. I saw the big rock in your hand.
Thank you. Well, and that's what I do with my fiance. Whenever something's going on, I'm like, well, we need to go to the doctor. We need to get this checked out. And he's like, I've never had somebody care so much about me in this way. And he's like floored. And I'm like, yeah, I have to do this. I want you around for the long term.
Yeah, that's the benefit, because if a woman from a biblical standpoint is the rib, you're helping to complete us. You're helping to take care of us. And, and the way you all's minds are, you're thinking about 4 or 5 things at a time. You're nurturers. Right. And for the most part, we tend to focus on being providers. And so if we're not being nurtured, then the provider's going to die. I'm just going to keep it real. Right. So thank you for taking care of us. And what my wife does is that when I don't listen to her, she threatens to call my mom. So she's done 2 people. Yeah. So, but I go and I'm better for it. And the doctor's like, why didn't you come in sooner? So if we listen to our wives, we'll live longer.
Exactly. Well, so let's just jump into this. So I know there's a lot of signs that a man won't commit, but can you give us like the 3 top signs that a man won't commit or he has commitment issues?
Yeah, and they're going to be pretty direct. 1, he never asked for commitment. You may have this idea of a relationship that you all are dating or you all are exclusive, but he never asked you to be exclusive. He never asked to be engaged. He never asked for you to be exclusive. So that's number 1. He never asked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Men that want you, they want to take you off the market because there's an assumption that you're dating other people. And if I haven't asked you to be exclusive to me, what's stopping you from going on a date next Friday night? You know, you're not mine. So I have to ask you to be mine. All right. Number two, anytime you bring up commitment, he changes the topic or starts to hesitate. Or well, you know, I don't believe in marriage, or why do we need to mess things up? We're going so well. So he does something to kind of throw you off. Marriage-minded men, commitment-minded men don't avoid that conversation. So red flag. And then number three, he'll just flat out tell you, I don't want to commit. I don't want to do it. I don't want to be married again. I don't want to be in a committed relationship. I don't want to be exclusive. I want to date around. So he'll tell you. So he never asks. He changes the subject and hesitates, or he just tells you flat out, I don't want a commitment.
Well, those are some pretty direct signs. So let me ask you a question, because let's first talk about in the early stages of dating. And let's just say a woman's been dating a man for like 5 or 6 months.
Okay.
And like you said, he's probably assuming that she's going out on dates. Do you highly recommend that a woman date multiple men in the early stages if he hasn't committed to her?
Absolutely. I mean, when we look, so old school, you date one person. All right. So I think women, I'm giving you freedom to step into the 2000s and what I call circular date. Okay. You should date as many men as ask you out that you're interested in. Now, I didn't say be physical or intimate with them. I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying when they ask you on a date, if you like them, go on the date. Why? One, you're not in a committed relationship. Two, I'm a man, so I'm going to be practical. You need as many good options as you can. All right. So if you have 3 men and you go to dinner, you're not going to click with all 3. You might click with 1, or you might click with 2. And then the other one, you know, he might have some issues. So you don't need to focus laser date one guy, because then you know what you're going to do? You're going to start relaxing your standards. You're going to start settling because he's all that you have. So until a man asks you to be exclusive, yes, keep your options open. It's just like a job interview. If you have 3 companies that are pursuing you, first of all, that's going to elicit good competition. I'm going to be brief. When I was dating my wife, I went over her house to pick her up for a date, and I noticed, Suzanne, that she had flowers on the kitchen table. All right. The problem was I didn't send her these flowers, all right? So we just started dating, so she had no reason not to receive these flowers. And so what it told me was, okay, I have competition. And you know the interesting thing? I expected to have competition. Because, think about this, if you date someone that's really awesome and they have no other prospects, what's the first thing you think about? What's wrong with them?
Yeah, well, and also, is she that great?
Right? Is he gay? Is something wrong with him? I mean, this has to be something going on with this awesome guy. It seems like he's awesome, and there's no one dating him. Same thing with this with my wife. So I saw the flowers on the table. I looked at them. The next day, of course, I sent 2 dozen roses with the little cubes, the lights. I wanted to blow this guy's flower. I want her to look at those little puny flowers and look at mine and see who was superior. And so I called her at work. I said, you get the flowers? She said, yeah, they're nice. And so I want her to, say, I said, well, they're way better than the ones that were on your coffee table, aren't they? Kitchen table. She said, yes. You talking about the ones from my dad? I said, all right, let him know. There's a new daddy now.
That's funny.
I say that because I never had this assumption that she was mine. I had only taken her on 1 or 2 dates. I hadn't done anything for her to be that interested in me. And so I assumed she was dating other people. So ladies, of course, date as many people as you have a connection with, because it's by the odds to get to the one, it's going to take maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, how many dates it takes to find the right one. So don't limit yourself.
Exactly. And I just have to add to that, because what I envision is when a woman dates, like how you said, like 3 men at a time, right? Mm-hmm. And then what I see is that she then becomes the chooser. She's not waiting for him to choose her, right? When you only date 1 man at a time, you're like waiting for him to go, okay, I really only want to date you. When I saw her with 3 men, she's like going, yeah, he's not good. He's not good. I actually like him. And then that creates, I hate to say it, that competition. Like you felt it when your wife now, when she had flowers on the table. I actually think that's funny. I think every woman should do that. Put flowers on the table and make a
Right.
guy think that another
Step your
guy
game
said it
up.
to her.
Step
That's
your
funny.
game up. Yeah, it only makes sense. You don't want to be pressed. When we have one option, we settle. And we're talking about someone you're going to marry, someone that you want to be with for life. So you want to make sure that you have the right one. I'm going to be honest. There are some women that just simply have not been on enough dates. Either you're coming out of a long-term relationship or marriage, and you got married when you were young. And so dating helps you to find who you are. You really don't know who you are until you go on 4 or 5 dates. And then also, especially for women when you've been mistreated. All right. It's one thing to say, feel good about yourself, but it's another thing for a guy to just spoil you, for him to be interested in you, for him to show up early, for him to send you flowers, for him to tell you eat whatever you want to eat on the menu because he's trying to impress you. It may not be a love connection, but sometimes you simply need to be reminded that I am awesome. You know, forget Tyrone, forget Steve, forget how you mistreated me. This guy right now wants to marry me on the first date. And so what I think it does is it helps you to find yourself and realize that your past is not your future. That sounds good, but you need to see it and feel another guy really being just all in on the first date and being enchanted and interested in you. That helps you with your self-esteem.
That is very, very true. I completely agree with that. And I also completely agree with it on the opposite end of the spectrum, because when I was single, this is what I did. I went out on a lot of dates through online dating, and I met a lot of men that totally weren't the one. And so actually when the right one came along, I knew it right then because I had met I knew what was out there. And so the more dates you go out on, you know what's out there, and then you'll know who is right. Because you're never going to find a man that has 100% of what you're looking for.
Right.
If you do, you hit the jackpot. But I think it also helps you, like I said, become the chooser. So Dr. Tartt, now what should a woman do if she's been dating a man, I don't know, like 6 or 8 months? I don't like to give exact time frames because I think it all depends on the two people and the relationship. But let's just say it's going really, really well. They see each other on a consistent basis, but he hasn't brought up commitment or being in an exclusive relationship. What should a woman do in that type of situation if she wants to get to the committed relationship?
Again, another direct answer. Ask, what are we doing? All right. I need some clarity on what we're doing. Okay. Because you don't want to waste your time with someone who is not open to commitment. And there are times where there are issues. There may be, he says, look, I don't really know you well enough to make that commitment. Or, hey, you know what? I'm a little gun shy on this one. I committed a little bit early in my last relationship, and she turned out to be someone totally different. So that way you're starting to have a conversation about what you are doing. And then I think it's okay for you to straight up tell a man what your expectations are and say, I'm all for feeling out one another. I'm all for letting this happen organically. But I need to know where we are. Are we getting closer and closer to having a commitment? Because I can tell you how I feel about you. I want you to tell me how you feel about me. Or is this what you see as the standard for dating, no commitment? I just want to be clear so that I can make a decision about what I'm doing. Because the honest thing, Suzanne, is sometimes we may decide, I'm cool with no commitment. I'm having fun. I like this. This is pressure free. And there are other times when you say, you know what? No, my biological clock is ticking. I am ready to get married. I don't want to be strung along. I don't want to waste my time. I'm not going to get it back. So I respect you for being honest, but this is not for me. And you'll be surprised how many times men respond to your pace. So there's two things going on. There's his pace, and then there's your pace. And so what we know about successfully married men is that they receive influence. They're not set in their ways. They're not saying they're not going to change. Remember, happy wife, happy life. So early on, they're saying, well, you know what? I was hoping that we could do this for a year before commitment. But if you're feeling like that, what about 9 months? That way you have influence and you're able to start talking about really critical things early on.
Yeah, and I just want to add to that. When a woman does bring that up, that it's not her way or his way, it's a discussion and figuring it out together. Because if a guy feels backed up into a corner, Dr. Tartt, tell the ladies how he feels.
Men do not like ultimatums. They just don't like them. It's offensive. And I get it. You want what you want, and I need to know where I stand. But remember, your power is in your softness. You're not going to be able to out hard a man. You want to be soft yet strong. All right. So if instead of doing an ultimatum, simply let them know what your standard is. Just like business. The standard here is that you'll do it in 3 days. We'll get back to you in 3 days. And if you work for us and you get back to the customer in 4 days, that's not our standard, and this may not be a good fit. You don't have to give an ultimatum. You also don't need to be a doormat and just flow to whatever he says and not rock the boat, because then you're not really visible. You're muted. You can't have a relationship where one of you is muted. So you want to let them know, hey, I like you. I'm feeling you, and I hope that you're feeling me. Let's have a conversation about commitment. Or let's talk about your hesitation towards commitment. Because sometimes there are issues. Sometimes he's like, you know what, I will commit to you, but every time we argue, you hang up the phone. And I'm afraid if that's how you're going to be while we're dating, I definitely don't want that in my wife. So let's talk about issues we'd have that will make me feel more comfortable with commitment.
Well, and I just have to add to this, and I want the ladies to hear it from you, and this sounds so simple, but isn't it true, Dr. Tartt, that a man, all he wants to do is make a woman happy, and it's so simple, but that's all he wants. And when she's unhappy all the time, or like always like telling him what he's doing wrong, he realizes that she's just not happy. But on the other side of that, when a man wants to commit to a woman, it's because he makes her life, or she makes his life better, not harder. Correct?
Right. So happy life, happy wife. So when you talk to married men, and I want you to do a survey, and you ask them, you know, what's the secret to a happy marriage? You're going to find them say, happy wife, happy life. At first you think they're playing, but there's nothing, first of all, there's nothing like an unhappy woman in the house. It's like a storm. It's like you can't even walk in. She can be upstairs in a 5-story house, and you can just feel like it's raining in the basement. And then 2, what you don't realize, and where I'll be transparent and take the mask off for you, is our ego is wrapped around making you happy. When you talk to men about what they want, a lot of men will say, I really don't want much. I just want my wife and my kids to want for nothing. That's our dream, to make our wives, plural meaning not me having multiple wives. Let me be clear. All right. We want to make our wife, our one wife, happy. We want to make our daughters happy. We want to make the women in our life happy. And even though we may not admit it, when you're unhappy with us, that really, that damages our ego. That damages our ego, because we want to make you happy. The nice car, yeah, we like toys, but we really want you to be impressed by the car. The house that we buy, I'll be honest, I don't care about backsplash and shadow boxing and certain chandeliers and granite countertops. Those things make my wife happy. So I pay the extra amount. Don't understand why they cost so much, because she's happy. And if she's happy, I did something to make her happy. Therefore, my ego benefits. However, I do want to caution you. Don't be a doormat. When you're too nice, we run over you. I'm going to just be honest. We run over you because then you're not present. And then we begin to stop dating you. We stop courting you. We stop asking you what you want. Now, you're thinking that you're being a great girlfriend, fiance, or wife, but really we see you as invisible. And eventually you're going to complain, and then we're going to say, why didn't you tell me this earlier? So it's best to say, hey, I'm awesome. I'm deserving. These are some things that I would like for you to do. My wife consistently reminds me we did not do date night last week, so we have to do 2 this week. And I'm like, are you serious right now? But she says, you know what? hey, I told you my standards when we met. I like to be courted. I like to be dated. I want our relationship to work. So we have to be consistent. So I take my wife on dates twice a week when I miss, and we always have fun.
Oh, well, that's nice.
But if she didn't bring it up, we probably would date once a month. Just being honest.
Well, and I just have to add, there's that quote that I love, and I don't even know who said it, is men will treat you how you allow yourself to be treated. And it's very, very true. It's about having standards and boundaries, right?
No, I mean that's true. Think about bill collectors. When they say the bill is due on this date, we pay the ones that's going to cut it off. I dare you not to pay your cell phone bill. You know it's going to be cut off. Cable? Well, they'll wait a couple of months. So you'll pay the cell phone bill because you know it's going to get cut off. But it's really no difference. We don't care about one company over the other. It's the standard. The standard that's stricter. There's a book out. I'm not gonna say the title, only because it's sensitive. It's called Why Men Love Bees. I'll let you fill in the B word.
Oh, ladies, you know the title of the book because I've heard the title of that book too.
Right. So I like that book because it basically talks about empowerment. And so when you show up and you have these demands, I shouldn't say demands, these expectations, men meet those. And Suzanne, all right, so, and ladies watching, all right, so have you ever met a guy you're unattracted to? And you say, I'm not interested. You send him the signs go away. Does he go away? No. He tries to impress you. He pulls out his car keys to show he has a nice car. He tries to talk about his job. He tries everything he can. He doesn't think that you're dissing him. He thinks you're telling him work harder. Raise your level of conversation. Impress me. Men like to impress. We like a challenge. We like to hunt. No man wants to open the door and see a deer laying on the ground. We want to run after that deer, shoot the deer. I don't believe in hunting. I'm just giving you an example. So Peter, don't call me. Okay? So we like to chase. It keeps us alive. We like to pursue. We like to, when you talk to men, they give you these pursuit stories of how they found their wife, how she wasn't feeling him, how he had to do this to impress her. And they smile about it. So be hard to get.
And I know every woman out there is saying, okay, well, how hard to get? Because I've heard men say, they don't like women that play these games. And then also you're saying play hard to get. So give us the in-between of what we're supposed to be doing.
No, I said be hard to get, not play hard to get. Because when you're playing, you're doing something that's unnatural. I think the best way to explain it is to explain something that happened with my wife. All right, so Suzanne, I had this show that was coming out on BET. It was called Mom, Myself, and I. I mean, it was with Sheena Arna and Garcelle Bouvet. So I had no business being in this show. I was blessed, okay? So we had this red carpet BET event here in Atlanta, and I was just dating her. So we got the limo, the car service. I was like, oh, she's going to be feeling me. I am successful, all right? So I knew, I'm going to be honest, I knew when we got home, because she parked her car at my house, I knew I was going to get a kiss before she left. Do you know she did not kiss me?
She didn't?
When I went in for the kiss, she turned to the side. All right. Now, this was like our third or fourth date. And so I told her name is Mecca. I said, Mecca, you know what? I like you a lot. Okay. And I like the fact that you're kind of hard to figure out. It's exciting. However, the fact that you didn't kiss me, I can't tell whether you like me or not. So to be honest, if you're not feeling me, just let me know and I'll date someone else, because I'm not used to this level of rejection. And she said, Alduan, I like you, but I'm like an onion. You have to like peel back layers of me for me to open up. I just don't do that early on. It might take me months for me to get to that level of comfort with you, but I do like you. And so I moved to her pace because I knew she was feeling me. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right.
It does.
So you can't give no feedback. You can't just can't be nonchalant. If he texts, you don't text back. If he calls on a date, you don't say you're appreciative. You don't give compliments. No, don't do anything out of character. Don't do anything out of character. But just like a fine diamond costs a lot of money, you want to be slow to acquire, hard to get, hard to quit. Easy come, easy go. And men that describe women as easy, that's an insult. All right. So you don't want to be too easy. You want to be hard to get. And so that simply means requiring a lot, and you should. This is your husband. You're talking about dating towards some type of commitment, engagement, or marriage. And so he should bring his best. He should be planning dates. He should be creating picnics in the park, anything he can to impress you.
Right. And I just have to add, the reason why it worked for you and your wife, well, you were just dating her at the time, is because you were very much into her. So you were willing to go at her pace. If you weren't so into her, you may have stepped away and said, you know what, she's too much work, right? But you really liked her. And she really liked you.
I definitely wanted to go faster.
Right. So it totally worked. But what I also liked about your story, and I always love when experts give real life stories, because then the ladies out there can really understand what you're saying. But the other part that I liked about your story is that you were upfront and honest with her right when she didn't kiss you, because you were like, I have to know. I can't keep going on like this. And then she was very honest with you. And then that's what also made it work, is that you were open and honest with each other, and then you were able to work at a pace that worked for both of you, right?
Right. I think it's good for you to pick a man, that's a good communicator, and work on your own communication skills. And when you're upset, and this is something that, teaching counseling, sometimes we say, I'm not going to bring up a little issue. I don't want to nag. However, we know those little issues eventually become a big issue, and then you explode. All right, and then you come off as crazy because all these things, you just let it out. It's best to just say, hey, what's going on? On a scale of 1 to 10, this is about a 2 for me. But before it gets any bigger, I just want to bring it up that I felt somewhat underappreciated when I took you to a nice restaurant and you didn't say thank you. All right, and then she's able to say, oh, I wasn't even thinking about it. I'm so appreciative. You're right. When my mom called, I got distracted. I'm sorry. That's better than me being passive aggressive and, oh, you won't appreciate me? I know who will, and then you think that I'm a cheat, when really I feel underappreciated. So it's best to just be honest and transparent when you feel it so that you can work through it pretty quickly.
And and I totally agree with you. And I'm just going to add something to what you said about the saying thank you for dinner or whatever it is. And vice versa is, I don't care how long someone has been dating someone or in a relationship or married. It's about showing that appreciation and saying thank you. I mean, I've been with my fiance for 2 years, and I still say thank you all the time and tell him how much I appreciate all the things that he does. And he thinks it's funny, but then he'll laugh and he'll go, I really like that you still say thank you for those small things that I do for you, because I do. I really appreciate it.
We need to hear it. According to the research, we're supposed to be doing 3 verbal appreciations every day that are real time, meaning the appreciations have to be based on the last 24 hours. That's what sustains relationships. See, when we're early on and we're courting, we'll say, I love you, you're cute, you're nice, I like that dress. And then you get into a relationship, you get lazy and you don't say it. And so then you're better, then your wife or your husband, your boyfriend, girlfriend, they start feeling like, okay, you don't find me attractive anymore. And then you start getting more compliments at work. And that's what opens up outside relationships. So you want to make sure that you have a system of 3 verbal appreciations when you get into a committed relationship a day, because we need to hear it.
Exactly.
I need to hear that you appreciate me taking out the trash. Yeah, I know that's my job, but I need to hear that you appreciate me taking the trash out.
That is true. And I appreciate, and all the ladies appreciate, Dr. Tartt being a guest on this summit, because your tips and advice have been amazing. So Dr. Tartt, I know you have a free gift for the ladies. Can you tell them about it?
Oh, absolutely. So I have a book out called The Ring Formula, How to Be the Only One He'll Ever Need. But I realize I always get questions about, what about this? What about that? So I created a 5-part webinar, And so I'm going to send you the first one for free so you can watch it. So you'll actually see me talk about what you need to do to date, how to get a man's attention, and how to keep his attention, how to eliminate the competition. There is no competition for you. All right. So you'll get that. It's a 45-minute webinar where you'll see me giving practical tips. Suzanne, I'm a psychologist, all right? I'm not a quote-unquote relationship expert, okay? My wife will tell you I have to go home and put the work in too. So part of what I have to do is give people practical advice that gets results. Now, of course, I'm not God. I can't give you advice and say a relationship's going to happen. But what I can do is give you practical steps on how to be more social, how to get more dates. When you go on a date, how do you open up in conversation? So I'm going to give you those practical tips that are going to make you a better dater and also a better picker when it comes to men. So, and I'm excited about it because I'm going to be transparent. I really do have a heart for creating more marriages. If you're looking for the secondary gain for this, I want to see you get married. I do, because I know that it makes us happier, and it's just better when I am a psychologist and a minister. So of course I would want to create families. That's what makes the church grow. That's what makes communities grow. And I know that it makes you all happier, and it's going to make us wealthier, happier, and healthier. So I'm also doing this for my fellow brethren. I'm taking one for the team.
Well, and also it makes us ladies happier, healthier, and wealthier, did you say?
No, y'all do that for us.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Tartt. We really appreciate the free gift. So ladies, all you have to do is click on the page for his free gift, and you'll get that. So thank you so much, ladies, for joining us on the Secrets About Men Summit, What Men Wish You Knew, But Will Never Tell You.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Hey there, ladies. Wait, before you go, I just want to make sure you're aware that you can upgrade to the Secrets About Men VIP package, where you'll get unlimited access to over 21 male experts who are truly going to help you learn the secrets about men to help you go from dating to the committed relationship and then to marriage. Plus, you'll also get over $883 in awesome bonuses, which includes a one-on-one private session with myself. So, for only $57 while the summit's live, you can get it, and all you have to do is click below. And just remember, after the summit ends, the price is going to go up. Remember, this is only available for a very limited time, so you want to get it now by clicking the link below to upgrade to the VIP package.